Hello, Free Enterprise fans, and welcome to a pretty spicy edition of one of our club races here at Baron's Hero's Journey, featuring our favorite hero, Edward. In the booth with me is Alchemy, the creator of this club herself. Alchemy, how you doing?
I'm doing great. That whole favorite hero thing. Some people love Eddie, some don't. But you know what? He's your hero, so you know what? Respect the Bard at least for now, because he gets some great weapons, and he's as the king of Damsian. He has some a particular set of skills, and those include being good at stealth and subterfuge, which if you've played the After Years, he does some cool stuff in that game. Okay, so and that's what inspired me to make this particular new flag set, where he it's like a weird game of spy, and all the bosses are hidden and he uncovers them. I guess that was the idea.
Yeah, it's certainly a fun one. And that last thing you just mentioned, you just sort of dropped it, but like walked over it real quickly. The part where bosses are hidden? Talk about
Yeah,
that.
the wacky flag, enemy unknown, which is a great pun in on itself, means that every boss is completely invisible. It has no name, and the overworld sprite is like a weird cross thing. And all of the bosses look the same, but they're not the same, including their position on the screen, their scripts. Everything else is just as usual, except they don't look, they're invisible. But Ceramos, do not fret, Ceramos still has a sprite.
Yeah, that would be, unless I want to say there is a sprite of Zeromus that is invisible. I want to say that exists. Actually, no. It did before, and I think we got rid of it. Yeah.
Yeah, there
Because
were
it was a
some
problem.
accessibility concerns with that one, and
Yeah.
and we decided to. Well, let's say the devs decided to remove it. But Invisimus was a thing. It used to be a thing.
Instead, just the rest of the seed shall be invisible for
Yeah.
your enjoyment of the runners. We'll see how the seed ends up playing for them. There are some a few challenges within this flag set. We have an Edward hero. We also have No Dupe's Permajoin, and it is C hero, so that is something to keep in mind. But in the meanwhile, we are off to the races.
Let's see what the first item they get is. Oh, starting with Cecil. Nice.
Hey, starting with an Artemis bow. It's pretty
Oh,
nice.
that's sick. Excellent.
And
Artemis bow.
I see what you mean by that cross of the. It's sort of like a little sun symbol of what the bygone enemy boss is. Who knows?
Yeah, we were talking in the booth, and apparently in the past there was like a live raid with this flag set, and the Demis hunt was active, and someone defeated the Demis so fast they didn't know it was required. But thankfully, Edward at Troya should have a key item for our racers. The free key item is on, but you still have to find the other three bosses.
And it looks like we've got a bit of divergence off the gate. We've got NG Dave heading into Watery Pass, going to do some looting. And we've got Judge Joe heading into Baron Town, also going to do some looting, going to peek who the boss is. Not going to see who the character is, but NG Dave with the free characters. Something free characters are on in this flag set, so NG Dave does get a Rosa. And I just missed who was the Baron in boss. Sorry, the character. We don't know who the boss is.
Yeah, the character is Yang.
Yang, okay.
Which, well, with restricted characters, which some flaxes do have, I don't know if she will take a Yang with 3 characters on. Especially having a Cecil in tow.
Yeah, no, you'll probably take the bosses on eventually, because since you don't know what they are, and we have... Our objectives are all defeat bosses, or a lot of them are defeat bosses. The other, of course, being hard required Twin Harp and complete Cave Magnus and break the Twin Harp spells. It's just a way to force us to do the Twin Harp.
Full credit to this idea for Side Marshal when first he was devising his club as a random idea he had. He made this. It's like, well, I'm gonna make a 5 out of 6 or so, 5 out of X, but you just have to take Twin Harp and do the Keith Magnus because it takes 2 objectives. The others you just do at your leisure.
Thanks, Edward. Edward heads over to talk to Edward in bed, and he says, "Oh, man, you know what would really help you in your quest? This ogre axe."
I know you can use it, but you know.
Thanks.
Just
Appreciate it.
Just like you can use it as like weight training. You know, this thing's really heavy. You can lift it. Ooh, samurai arrows at Troya's public treasury. That's really good.
So
What is this
unironically, if we don't find or start with a black sword, because this is Tsuneki, so that Dark Knight Cecil could have started with a black sword, which is pretty good early game. Unironically, our best character and like loadout is going to be Samurai Arrow, Artemis Bow, Edward.
Yeah, I mean Artemis Bow gives a strength boost of 10 and I believe like 5 agility or something. It's like really good. It's Edward's best weapon aside from this the Super Forge and the Spoon.
Yeah, and Chad helpfully pointing out there was a black sword in the public treasury. So
Nice.
that means really both of these characters will be able to contribute to combat, which is a sigh of relief, at least for Engidev, because the 2 starting characters we had were Edward and Cecil, and Cecil's great as a paladin, so you want to keep him on permajoin. Rosa is also very nice to take, but committing to Yang and Rydia from Mysidia was kind of a no-go for, I believe, Judge Joe. So this is sort of our starting party here.
Yeah, and I've seen that S Wild is indeed pretty wild. Backcasting Agard, Murasame in Agard, Artemis Bow in Agard, I believe, and we saw Sirens in Troya. So all the good items are here. You just gotta get the cash.
And one way to get the cash, it's to loot. Loot your heart out. We see Engidev going into the Damsian public treasury, gonna loot here. Really any chance at money. Also good jade items like a big bomb. You could use that to blow up an early game encounter. That's a nice find as well.
With that big bomb and a couple levels under Edward's weight, I will want to go up deals. Get that Cecil online as soon as possible, I feel.
Yeah, I imagine we'll see a run at Antlion and Hobbs first for the key item and the character and the 2 bosses before Ordeals, but Ordeals is definitely on mind sooner than later.
Finding a cursed ring here in Damsian, very, very nice.
First ring is very critical on the Sea Hero flag set because your hero, who is Edward, is always the agility anchor and nobody else, and Edward is notoriously fast, so finding any way to slow him down to help your other party members speed up effectively in combat later on in the game is a very, very nice comfort item to find.
There's also Forge is not an objective, but if you forge under Sea Hero and Edward's Sea Hero, you have a chance to get a Requiem Harp, which is kind of like a drain weapon, and it reduces Edward's stats a little bit, including a -5 in agility, which can come very, very handy. It's also actually decently powerful too.
You can also get the Loki's Harp, which is just a really good weapon.
Oh yeah, I mean, if you get the Loki's Harp, you just rip with like Edward's not rip, the shreds. I was thinking about Doom. he shreds on the harp, and it's like Edward's very own crystal sword. It's great.
And Judge Joe also getting that cursed ring. Meanwhile, Engidev is climbing up Hobbs. This is our first sort of boss battle. Again, enemy unknown.
So many. Nice Cecil.
And here we go. Our boss is
Chad,
question mark.
Let's play a game. Let's play a game, Chad. Try to guess which boss it is as soon as it shows up.
Okay. I think we know who this is.
Well, I know I do. Yeah. It is Peldim, indeed. If it counters slow, it is Peldim.
Oh my god, I'm not gonna get tired of this entire broadcast of who is that boss?
We were talking about this in the booth, but you can actually check like which boss is it by the position of the cursor on the screen. There is no standard cursor position. It depends on the position of the sprite. So if you memorize that, you're good. Also, wow, that punches really hard.
So Judge Joe taking a look at the waterfall boss. Waterfall boss early game is actually a very fast boss because normally oh, this is Water Hag.
Nice. Good find, Judge Joe.
That is an objective. Well done.
This spot is extremely fast too.
Yeah, this is normally Octomam is normally here, and Octomam's whole shtick is that as you're dealing damage to Octomam, he loses tentacles and loses speed along with that. Yeah, but without Octomam being here, you just get bosses that are super fast.
Yeah, I think it's like 28 or like 32 agility, something absurd for the overworld. So no wonder it was punching so hard. I was wondering if it was Evil Wall or something, but nope.
Yeah, and good of Judge Joe to finally... We did see him pause there for a moment. I think he was trying to suss out with the script if it was going to do anything besides punch. Another good tool in these battles is going to be just taking the cursor over to the enemy and seeing, is it a single enemy? Is it multi? And then if it's multi, what is the formation? Like we see NG Dave here.
I like Judge Joe's cheeky looting, and it's the... No, that's not Paladin. What is this?
This is CPU. Oh, well. We should let chat. Right, we're right. This is the question for chat. What boss is this? But I just spoiled it. It's
yeah, okay. Hello, chat. Tonight you are in a game show.
Who's that boss?
TM.
Yeah, we knew it was CPU because we started with the NG Dave immediately put the cursor over to the enemy and saw the 3 formation. You can kind of know just from where the 3 are, and finding the magma key. This is Force Magma, right? That's the flag set.
Yep.
Yeah, so we know magmas are underground access.
I was like, ooh, the bosses are like it's completely invisible. It's an Edward hero.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be nice, I don't wanna get a hook route and you don't know what boss is at the hook and stuff. Like, no.
But yeah, our restreamer Asuka's got it succinctly. It was 3 spots and it cast Remedy, so you knew that was CPU.
and Nimian in chat is like, invisible orbs drop their install key.
Alright, we'll see if NG Dave wants anything to do with Yang or Rydia at the moment. I'm gonna guess no. We do have 3 functional party members already. You can't get an anchor out of Rydia, and with an Edward hero, like, I guess you can curse him, which makes more party members sort of viable, but any party member that's going to be on the slow side, which is basically any mage, you just kind of don't want them.
Yeah, there's also the fact that we haven't found any summon for Rydia. If you were to find, I don't know, Leviathan or something, you kind of can go, okay, like Rydia's gonna sweep away most of the bosses, but without that summon in hand, Rydia's not a great party member this early.
Yeah, no, I mean, we do see NG Dave selling a Dragon Whip that is pretty good for a number of bosses, or more notably just killing either eggs or gold dragons, so that's pretty decent for grinding, but it's not really a reason enough on its own. Definitely a Leviathan orb would have been possibly enough to take Rydia, but you still have to like pause and think, like, do I really want this character? Because it's permajoin. The choice is permanent.
And I wonder if any of the other racers have taken the Rydia, because it's not only the 2 people you see on screen right here. They are racing alongside two other entrants. So I we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, it's possible somebody ran over to, I don't know if anyone's been to Silveria yet, for instance, and went to the item shop and saw Bahamut in there, because it's wild, and bought a Bahamut. That's a reason to take a Rydia. It's very possible.
Absolutely. And see buy is not on, so if you see something that you enjoy, that you go, oh, I can use this with this character, you just go back and pick them up. And Dave is immediately heading down to the underworld, it seems, but first making a pit stop on the shops, which is very good because Silver has Bacchus.
Yeah, Bacchus is a great pickup. Instant ability to Berserk. Anyone who uses it, always very useful in this game. Berserk is just broken. Not checking the weapon and armor shop, notably. It's interesting because on S Wild, every shop check is potentially huge just because of the wide variety of things that you can get. Especially notably, this flag set, I believe adamant armors are on, correct?
Yes, in my eyes, Enemy Unknown is such a... It's not like a hard flag per se, because all the bosses are exactly the same, but it's a very intimidating flag, and it's Edward hero, so I this time I wanted to play nice with the flag set, so the adamants are on, it's Force Magma, it's Wild without Escorter, it's, just giving out treats for the racers. We'll see if the Seed Generation agreed with me, though. You never know.
Yeah, I hear in Baron Heroes Journeys Seeds of Past, especially past season, intents did not always meet reality.
Oh, the 3-hour Yang Hero Seed broke my soul. I was like, oh, I make flag set under 2 hours. I like that. I like making flag sets under 2 hours for restream. And then it's like, oh, you're here forever, Yang.
The Rando, indeed, often going to Rando. And Dave just getting a firebomb from the freebie here on the Fame Arch. Thanks, game. Appreciate it.
Great, huh? I mean, oh, that's a defense sword. Very nice. That's not great, no.
Defense sword is kind of tempting to sell the shop for and buy right now for Cecil, but I guess there's a decent chance we'll run it just even better later. Meanwhile, where did this Twin Harp come from?
At the starting, it was the starting key item.
Oh, it was the start. It just talking about the unknown boss and the starting characters. I just lost entirely over it. So harp is hard and required. So we will get music at some point.
I love the NG Dave play of like opening the 2 chests in Sylph Cave, because Sylph Cave wakes are actually really good because there's so many trap chests. And like just like the cheeky 2 treasure says like, well, if this is a trap chest, I just like restart real quick. I really like that.
Yeah, and the odds are actually pretty reasonable of not hitting traps. I don't know how many chests are down here, but only 7 of them are trapped.
There's a lot of chests.
There's just a lot of chests in here, so it's a play I like making too, especially in a weighted flag set. Like this is T Pro, that it's a weighted flag set, meaning you go to places that are either more challenging, like they're gated behind a key item, or you have to contend with traps. Tend to have better quality of loot.
What's Judge Joe searching for? Perhaps some like samurai arrows or Artemis arrows for sale, maybe?
Yeah, I mean, shop checks.
Sword.
Yeah, shop checks in general are just good. There's a Zeus gauntlet. That's pretty darn good to pick up.
For Edward.
Yep. He might also be preparing for climbing ordeals. One sort of thing about ordeals and Sea Hero. Oh, this is also setting up for a boss check, right? Because we're on a boss hunt.
Of course.
Edward is the hero. Edward is the only character that will go into the ordeals room. So you kind of want him to be set up. All right, so Judge Joe, seeing that there are 6 enemies in one encounter, knows what this boss is and resets.
Ooh, that doesn't even take it. Aster Eyes, like every time he changes the face, it's like, oops, oops. Hold on, let me change the face. Oh no, just showed up again. Oh. But Judge Joe, on Judge Joe's side, it was Cal Cabrera.
Yeah, and Cal Cabrera is not, the dolls are not an objective. Really no value in defeating that boss.
It's so funny. Oh, enemy unknown was such a good idea.
All right,
Uh,
Judge Joe goes into Baron in, immediately starts with a count here.
Oh.
Only got a
Who was
5.
that? Nice try, buddy. Nice countula. I don't remember the name of the Muppet. I never grew up with Sesame Street.
But yeah, so that was
That's
Bahamut in
fun.
the first position, which is it's a fine place to find Bahamut. I tend to want to find him later because Star Veils just make Bahamut free in many places.
Oh, I
Meanwhile,
saw ya. I see
Okay.
that. Nice try, buddy. Meanwhile,
So
NG Dave gets a Zeus Gauntlet from the Sheila 1 check. That's really good.
It's not a key item, but it's a good piece of armor that Judge Joe noticed he could just buy.
But you know, it's expensive. It's like tier 6, I think. So
It is, yeah. It's
very nice.
65,000. You're okay seeing it. But yeah, apparently enemy unknown. It appears that enemies that have some sort of a sprite transition. We saw it with Ashur, we're seeing it here with Octomem, just sort of like pop in for a brief moment.
Yeah, I'm guessing, like, we don't know, but I'm guessing that the invisibility is tied to the script. So when the script says like change sprite, it immediately sets the sprite to invisible, but there's like a frame where it shows up. Also, that was an ice brand. That sucked. That's not great.
So basically they're bad at hiding. Alright, there's a Kane on NG Dave's side in Ordeals. He may take Kane. Yep, and he does.
I mean, you saw Defensor down the Feymarch. That's, you know.
Yep. And Kane is just a decent party member for the Zerker strategy. Pretty happy to have him. He is sort of average at what he does, but he'll be good enough.
We have seen a lot of ninja swords too. I think our racers might be waiting for an edge too at some point.
Yeah,
Perhaps.
I wouldn't be surprised if like NG Dave and Joe will hold on to 4 characters for a vast majority of this seed.
Talgring, our tracker, pointed out that Ice Ring is useful for Cecil if we see a Ruby Kante. But Talgrand, we are not gonna see Ruby! He's invisible! I know what you mean though.
Meanwhile, NG Dave is gonna see with his eyes who the first boss of Ordeals is. And by see, I mean not.
Couldn't help but show off that leg, huh? Couldn't resist. What an ego Ruby Kante has.
Well, okay, so that was a Ruby sprite, but no fire counters? This has to be elements.
Yes, I believe elements change the sprites too. God, I can't believe I said that about Ruby Kante, and then Ruby Kante showed up to prove me wrong. Can't believe this. Sid's got jokes!
Alright, and the back attack is...
Well, there it is.
Oh, knob. Alright, well.
Grrr.
Beat him up.
We're channeling some real wacky races energy right about now.
This is like Dr. Luga and Balnob are like hiding behind a bush or something and like having an argument.
Yes, exactly.
And you're just like standing right there like, hello, I can hear you.
Now they heard us. It's your fault, Balnab. Grrr.
So to catch chat up on what the heck is going on here, we're running a flag set. This is a wacky called Enemy Unknown. All bosses are invisible, and their overworld sprite is this sort of like sun-looking sparkle thing. So we have no idea visually who any of the bosses are. However, a good number of them are pretty bad at hiding.
Yeah,
like
apparently,
Dr. Luga.
yes. Some of them say something out loud, or they have like their sprite shows up briefly. But for the most part, we're gonna have be keeping an eye out on like enemy formations on the screen, like the positioning of the cursor, their scripts, if they do any counters, stuff like that. So face checking everything, yes, yes. Which is why I gave such a high power flag set with like Start Magma and stuff, because this is a scavenger hunt of bosses. So that's the point.
Yeah, and there are a few bosses who you're not going to know immediately without paying some amount of attention who they are. Like, we were talking about this before a broadcast. Mylon Z. All Mylon Z does is punch. Early game, he has a chance to poison on punch, but later game, it's probably not going to come up. All Mylon Z does is punch, but you might get an... Sorry. Watching... Luke, final form just like fall on the screen and then disappear.
Now for the real fight.
Yeah, chat reminding me Malenzi actually announces his he wants you to fall into the deep ravine.
But that's it, you have to pay attention, because sometimes
you have to
the
be
text
paying
boxes
attention
go
for that.
rather fast.
Right. If he didn't do that, I was going to say you could maybe suss it out because Malenzi is weak to spears and arrows and like a crystal sword.
All of the hero flags that I make have witch burn, so it will be something completely random, and then you will be like, which boss does polling? And it's like, well, witch burn wyvern. That's
Alright, so NG Dave is the first in the mirror room. NG Dave's the first in the mirror room by himself.
No.
Swings for a high amount of damage and then gets a count going. Probably very happy to have started with that bow.
Yeah.
Because that was Plague. Plague in the mirror room with one character is a horrible, awful, disgusting fight if you don't have a way to deal 1,000 points of damage immediately.
What if Wyvern shows up, but it imitates another boss? And you think you've defeated the boss, but then the script shows up again, and you're like, hold up, I already got that boss. What's going on? A wave again? Hold up.
Actually, I guess this could be Wyvern, right? This is Witchburn?
I think Wyvern could do count, yes, we don't know. They started with an Artemis bow from the bow kit. It was the Artemis kit. It was really good.
I mean, it's far, far, far more likely that this is Plague, because Witchburn has, I don't know how many, but it's got to be dozens of different...
Yes, it is likely.
...attacks that it can do.
But wouldn't it be funny, though?
Yeah, it would be quite funny. Now, Joe did take a reset. We saw him swing with a bow, so not exactly sure what happened with him, but he's stepping back to the mirror room again. This time he is prepared. So Joe is going for the meta objective here, I believe, yes?
Oh, indeed.
Do you want to explain what that is?
Yeah, it's called Tactical Retreat EX. EX because they're invisible. And the idea is that by using high strats, the vast majority of the fight must be won by Edward hiding from the boss. You win the meta objective, and if you end up in like the first 3 spots in the race, first, second, or third, you get to pick the next week's character. Wow, Yacho does it. This goes so fast. It's so absurdly fast that it counted itself to death. Wow, nice one.
Yes.
Nice call,
so Joe, yeah, awesome. So Joe is successful doing the meta objective. And explain to chat what some of these strategies are with Edward. With Plague in particular, when you reflect the count ends up onto Plague himself, and then all you really have to do is once he hid with Edward so that Plague isn't constantly trying to cast count, and then once the count is at 0 for Plague, you just have to take an action for the game to sort of get over back to Plague and kind of ask, is the count at 0? Oh yeah, it is. Okay, and then he just dies.
Yep, indeed. We have other strategies like Evil Wall, where Evil Wall punches itself. We had one with Odin, where if you use a lightning spell on Odin after the 3rd time he raises his sword, he instantly gets defeated. Even Ceramus, if you somehow can manage that with Edward Anchor somehow. But uh,
I'm
I,
not
I
even sure it's possible. It might be. I
I
have no
think I
idea.
think it's theoretically possible, but it's like absurdly unlikely. So NG Day
Certainly,
finishes fighting Peekaboo with Octomammoth, and it's going up to the Cave Magnus. Jacho, I mean.
yeah, we've got a little bit of experience under our belt. We've got a paladin out of Cecil now. We've got decent. We've got okay gear. Joe taking a moment to loot the chocobo butt, gets a cat claw for his trouble. It's worth a good amount of money on a flag set where all you want to do is shop with us wild. Not bad.
I believe Jacho may have sold the ogre axe that Edward in bed gave the Jacho.
Yeah,
Which
that's
is
a bit of
why
a
Cecil has the ice brand.
yeah, it's a bit of a bummer, but if you prioritize a little bit of shopping, I imagine on SWOW you will eventually get rewarded. We've certainly not seen all the shops yet, which now that is a strategy to take. You might instead say, I've got enough power in hand, I'm not gonna waste my time gambling on shops. I'm just gonna go clear my objectives and kind of get my power upgrades along the way. We'll see how these two lean as the seed sort of goes on and on.
That is until you find an adamant armor or a crystal sword, an Excalibur, Absol or something, but you never know.
Yeah, so another way, there's the shopping, but another angle here is what NG Dave is doing, headed over to Castle Eblin, gonna take on, well, a lot of loot here. Again, it's T-Pro, so it's weighted there's a pretty good chance of getting decent stuff here, either for money like that crystal armor or just gear in general. And then also there's 3 traps here, which are worth 1, experience for his party, which is pretty important, and then 2, any number of shots at like an Avenger or any other number of things. And oh hey, even Dark Elf is invisible, I guess. That makes sense.
I found and sorry I and you found a crystal sword. I mean a crystal armor up that they can sell if they wanted to.
Yeah, it sells for a ton of money. But in the meanwhile, I believe we've got some music headed your way, chat.
Indeed. Because we like to randomize things, we also randomize the song that Edward plays on the harp. So, with a selection of over a bajillion songs, please enjoy.
That's an official number.
TM, TM, TM.
Why is Golbez such a party pooper?
I know, right? I was having so much fun. That was Arena from Dynasty Warriors 8, a song I requested for Shinoget because hey, this is a an RPG focused community. I figured most people don't know that Dynasty Warriors has an absurdly good soundtrack, so it's there. But also, that should got the very poor luck that Shadow Dragon got Edward and Cecil, the two characters that could deal efficient damage. But Jetshu got a veil up on Rosa.
Yeah, the good thing is that Rosa's not going to die in the immediate term. The bad news is that normally you would rely on the fact that you can reflect damage in order to just deal all the damage to Golbez, but this spot has
Yup.
really good magic defense, so we gotta deal damage a different way.
This is probably one of the rudest bosses you can find here in this spot, pretty much, at this stage in the game.
Yeah, so we see that the veil dropped already from Rosa.
Oof. I believe that this body has a magic defense value of 254, which is 1 point off from perfect magic defense. So that's why the spells are doing so little damage.
Yeah, the different enemies here tend to take on slightly different magic defense values. I know like one form of Dr. Luge, for whatever reason, ends up actually being magic immune. There are some little enemies, or minor enemies, in a larger formation that actually don't have any magic defense at all. It's weird. A lot of this game is weird black magic. But Joe does get through the fight.
Yup, that was a really good display of skill from Yachu and adapting to a really bad situation. So great work. And he's rewarded with a rat tail, which is not required, but could have Kieran we need.
Yeah, that rat tail, you just kind of put that in your back pocket and say, I will deal with that later when I can. We don't have the hook yet, so we can't turn it in. But it is 2 of those objectives done, which means that hard required Twin Harp is now complete for Judge Joe, and he'll get to move on. Meanwhile, NG Dave is going to get his own music, and then we'll see how he adapts to the very unfortunate news of who this boss is.
Yeah, we'll see how NG Dave handles that very rude boss at this spot. Because usually with Golbez, you just like put up the Starveil up, and he like counter-takes himself out with like Lee and Virus, which are really strong spells. But not such a thing in this spot.
Yeah, now NG Dave will have the advantage of some more levels and the loot out of Eblin Castle. I did unfortunately miss sort of what he got, and I feel like chat might have called out if something amazing was in the trap chest that he hit there, but he still will have slightly better gear in general for this fight and better levels.
He has like the Zeus Gauntlet and the Ogre Axe, and the Crystal Armor. On Cecil, I think that if Shadow Dragon doesn't take out Cecil, we'll see if that happens. He's gonna have an issue time that Judge.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's not even just who gets taken out, but can NG Dave react to kind of Golbez at a fast anchored spot instead of a slow anchored spot where that veil is likely to drop a lot faster than you might expect. But Dave is a very good runner. I expect he'll be able to take that on. Meanwhile, we're going to get a reprise of that music for at least as long as Golbez will allow us.
Dang. And Kira was talking about like, oh well, if he doesn't take out the Cecil and stuff. But here we are.
We saw Dave start this fight, swinging twice and missing, and then taking a very long pause in his item menu, and you could just palpably feel the realization as to who this boss was, because the odds of missing twice are just basically non-existent.
Yeah, if there's only one boss that is completely invincible at the start of the fight. Well, two, but the other is Sermon, and it's so always.
And I think we saw Dave smartly taking a moment to pause to think like, okay, this is Golbez, what do I need to do to get through this fight?
Putting the Starvels and doing 1,000 damage with Edward is a good way to start. Oh, that Artemis bow is... I think he might have bought a black belt too for Edward. It's just wonderful.
Yeah, Edward just doing all sorts of good work early game here.
Don't dismiss the Bard, folks!
You love to see it. Well, especially when you can't.
And there's NGD's very own Rat Tail. And the two objectives complete.
Alright, now we've sort of cleared all of the very obvious immediate things that you can do in this game. We're sort of left with the underground, and the underground is a little bit more open. We've got the tower key in hand. There is, so two bosses in the tower, top of tower, tower key. We know Feymarch and Sheila 1 didn't have key items, so there's the two tower spots, and...
I don't think NG Dave checked the bosses at Feymarch either. So I guess we'll be seeing a double dip. Perhaps he might try to grind first, like he might have thought like, I'm not even gonna bother with this until I can defeat it, you know, because K-Summon is on.
Yeah, the Feymarch is already pretty tricky to take on until later, as it is. When you know what the bosses are, when you don't know what they are, yeah, we might not see them go back down there for some time, but
yeah, I wonder
the sort of the two choices in mind. So one is the tower, the other we see Dave coming here over to Dwarf Castle. So this is two bosses, one character, and the warp glitch is on, so it's actually a chance at two key items.
Yeah, but I guess if Rydia or Palom show up, but I don't know if you will get enough levels on Palom for warp.
Oh, that's true. Actually, yeah, we don't have anyone that can warp.
Yup.
Never mind.
Another reason to take that Rydia.
Yeah, that actually.
Oh.
Oh my.
Oh, well, at least we have a good physical party and some mechas. And
Yeah.
Kane, but actually this is one of those spots where you actually don't want to jump on Bravalis because the punches from this spot are actually really rough.
Well, you say that, but I believe I saw Cecil swing for 100, Kane swung for 200.
Oh yeah,
Now he
that's
swung for
slow.
400.
That's pretty slow, but
Dave, you might have wanted to jump here, because yes, you have to deal with more punches from Val in a spot that punches pretty darn hard for this point of the game.
But that being said, you do have a Cecil with a crystal armor, which is the end game armor option for Cecil. His defense is through the roof. I think if you do cover strats here, you may be able to like jump on Valvalis repeatedly, and like Cecil can just like tank all the hits.
Yeah, and so here's the trouble for Dave. This is normally the doll spot, and what this randomizer does for bosses that have split hit points is that it combines them for single bosses. So this spot has something like 8,000 hit points.
Oh wow, that's way more than I thought.
I don't remember the exact number. I know it is in the high thousands, so Dave is going to be here a while. We'll see how Joe wants to react to this. Indeed,
because Joe does have a Kane as well, We'll see if he also opts for not jumping. Oh, it seems that way, perhaps.
I think I saw him, Joe, cue that jump.
Really?
On the cane.
It's like you know, like the after image. Oh, there it is. There he goes. Whoop.
Yeah, now I believe that Rosa on Joe's side does not have blink. And
No, not yet.
And he's berserked Cecil, who was our potential cover tank. So this is a pretty
he's
sticky
just going
fight
for
for
it.
both of
Yeah,
them.
he's just going for it. It's like, okay, I guess I'll just race people. Like, heck it, just go for it. Like YOLO threats. I guess like Edward is hiding for like insurance in case things go downhill. Because if Valvalis starts, you know, queuing weeks and glares or whatever, he just pops up and starts like reviving people.
Yeah, and I mean, one very viable way of getting through fights is literally just throwing life potions until until you get through the fight.
Yeah, you do start with the most loaded kid in the entire game because he's like, you know, a prince or whatever, and you have like 70 of each like restorative. So
yeah, and Dave being rewarded for buying all those heal potions because all the petrify. The minor petrification moments also end up becoming a problem. But Dave, able to get a lot of pretty good damage rolls there. I saw some 500s, some 600s. Actually able to get through that fight a good amount faster than what might have first appeared. So very well done by him to get through. Is rewarded with, well...
a dupe Rosa and some salmons for Rydia, which were too fast for me to read. There is a possibility that Rydia might get Leviathan here. Oh, and there it is. There's the cover strats. Beautiful.
Yep, there's the cover strats, and we have a boss that just said, attack! And really only one boss does that, so we know this is the Kaipo guards.
Our tracker told Grant saying that he definitely saw Leviathan right there. Ooh, nice. I might be a little too late for Rydia, but with the whole ground in front of you, maybe you do pick the Rydia. Who knows? And Wyvern isn't that bad because Switchburn is on, which will be very confusing, mostly.
So we're seeing the difference here between Dave taking on those Eblin traps and Joe, because Joe does not have the levels or the gear to actually deal damage to Valvalis without jumping, whereas Dave was able to take the safer but slower option of just berserking and dealing with the weaks and the petrifies, because Val's only punching once every like couple cycles instead of constantly, and is able to get through that overall faster.
Indeed.
And I guess this was the Rydia starter kit, because Leviathan was one of the random summons, and then we got rewarded with just a tiara.
Yeah, tiara, Leviathan, wow.
Game, where are the key items? Where are they?
On the moon.
Or behind an invisible Fame Arch.
I think that showed. Yep, there it is. Nice, great work.
Yep, very well done by Joe to manage that fight and get through it with most of his party members alive and healthy, which is very important because you never really know who that second Dwarf Castle boss is, and the stats of that boss are really not good because normally it's Golbez, and Golbez is just a scripted fight you're meant to win. But there's still a couple of rude options that could show up there. Of course, we know it's the Capo soldiers who aren't really going to challenge us no matter what, but very well of him, yeah. Very good of him to get through that fight.
There are some combos here that can absolutely like ruin your day. Like, I don't know, Dark Knight Cecil into like Ogopogo and stuff like that. It's rough, but thankfully it's being pretty okay for the most part.
Yeah, Ogo is one of the worst to find here because if you're weak going to this fight, you could just instantly wipe. Another fun one is Wyvern. when it's default Wyvern, you just die to Mega Nuke before you could do literally anything. That's another fun one.
And Dave is opting to go up into the tower. I guess at this point it's either the tower dive, or you go down into the Fey March, and one sounds nicer than the other one. I'll let you choose which one.
Yeah, we're sort of getting funneled into only a few checks left here in the underworld, or in the underground. You don't want to do that Fey March anytime soon. Not only are those fights difficult, not only are you on Sea Hero, but they're invisible. You don't even know what they are. So that's just the very dead last option you want. So the only really two options are the tower or the Luca key, and the tower's got the two chucks, the two bosses here, so it makes a lot of sense to me to come here first.
The Sealed Cave also has a boss, but the boss of the Sealed Cave sucks. It's really, really rough.
Yeah, not only is that boss invisible at Sealed Cave, but it's incredibly fast and has intense magic power. Now, we do have the Cursed Ring on Edward, who's the hero. That makes Sealed Cave a lot more palatable of an option, but it's still... it's tricky. But meanwhile, Dave's going to see who this top of tower boss is. Or not see, not visually, because we don't know.
He will comprehend. He will understand. Fall flat into the deep ravine.
Well, we did talk about this earlier. We know who this is. This literally shows the name.
Yes, we know who it is because it does show the name in the box.
So for anyone coming in from that raid, thank you very much. Anyone coming in wondering what the heck is going on? Hi, welcome. This is Baron's Hero's Journey. Alchemy has brewed us a real spicy one with an Edward hero, Edward focused flag set with enemy unknown, which is a wacky flag where, well, it's this. You don't know who the bosses are.
I did read Job Dwarf, but I did not comprehend Job Dwarf. So it was the opposite scenario from before. I did see it, but I didn't understand what he said. I did not get that information in my brain.
Yeah, it happens so fast I kind of missed it too. Chat saying operations management analyst or something of that sort.
I'll take it.
Thank you, chat. There's that poison I was speaking about from Mylon said, and the fact that you're dealing good damage against his weakness with both a spear and arrows.
Very nice. Because, friendly reminder, Mylon C, to make him weak against, to make him immune against Quake, he's said to be flying. So he's weak against spears and bows. So there you go.
By the way, Alchemy, of all the goodies that are on, here's a good question. Is the spoon flag on?
No, because Edward is the hero, and to get his ultimate weapon, he has to work for it as part of his hero's journey. So that's forging. And he gets his ultimate weapon by forging.
There you go. And we've got half of our forge available now. I believe that was the legend sword that came from top of tower?
Indeed. And forge is not required in this flag set, but in most flag sets it is a required objective. And spoon is on in every other flag set. Oh, well, there you go.
Yeah, we see this 3, and then of course we see the Magus Sisters. Again, so many bosses are just really not very good at hiding.
It's like, you know, when you have like a quirky friend that's like, oh man, like for my birthday party, let's play like hide and seek or whatever, and you're like, oh god, I really don't want to play hide and seek, you know, I'm just like, I'm hiding. I hope nobody finds me here behind the trash can. Oh boy.
This is sort of like playing hide and seek, but like you left your phone on or something, and it's just going off.
It's like, oh my god, imagine that. You're like a hide and seek expert ninja, and you're like, I search you, I know your phone number, so I send you a message, and I know where you are.
Oh, that would be so mean. That's a mean.
Hello everyone, I am writing and drawing a hide and seek manga. Please come buy a Shonen Jump or whatever. It has a cool anti-hero that gets people to make mistakes. Hello, hi Shala.
So that's interesting. Over on Joe's side. Oh my.
Oh, that's a free boss. right then and there, the freest boss in Free Enterprise. But still,
Well, it's
you
free,
have
but you
1
gotta
HP.
heal up. Yep. Joe taking the reset, realizing, whoops, I kind of want to be healthy for that fight. So that was King Queen
Yeah.
Eblin. And they're scripted to just cast Fire 1, Fire 2. They're not just scripted to do that, they're scripted to take their magic power down to basically nothing. So they're free no matter where they show up.
I
But,
believe they have no magic power at all, and it defaults to 1 or something like that. And it is pretty wild. And this punched 3 times, so it could be multiple things. It could be Demist, it could be Odin, or it could be what's it called, Evil Wall.
yeah, not really sure which one it is. Not able to see more than 3 punches. That would rule out Demist. But Joe's gonna adjust here and sort of see what he wants to do and how he wants to handle at least the Ashura spot. The Leviathan spot is just heal up and do it, but
Well, chat pointed out, because we can't, that Evil Wall will have an audio cue of the wall moving or whatever. Okay, Shinocat, I know it's in the flowchart, but I'm not gonna check the flowchart every 5 seconds, okay, buddy? Yeah, Darkimps are still out there, that's true.
Yeah, also us in the booth, because I don't know about alchemy, but I don't like hearing the sound of my own voice, so I don't have the game audio on. Yeah, so we missed that audio cue.
I just get confused, honestly. Too much noise, you know?
Ooh, but Joe gonna take on the Ashura spot first and gets a counter for his trouble. Oh
there it
no!
We found it.
Oh no!
We found it. Which spot is this? Oh no, is this Leviathan or Asura?
That was the Ashura spot, which is the better spot.
Yeah. Still rough.
But Joe's party is like level 23, so it's a little rough.
So what you do in this fight is jump with Kane and cover with Cecil and spend like 10 minutes doing that, I guess.
Yeah, Joe says I'm going to get my experience first from the King-Queen spot, or the King-Queen fight. By the way, chat naming that this is the rare wipe, be very careful. I just saw very recently somebody come down here with no health, hadn't saved since like before a hook route, and wiped to a King-Queen spot, to the King-Queen fight in the Fame Arch because they forgot to heal, which is very easy to do when you're trying to go very, very fast. So it can happen. It's one of those things you want to pay attention to. Always be saving. That's the story. Always be saving.
We get a new emote, thanks Shala, which is the save icon. I believe it might have been shown off yesterday. But yeah, always be saving. Ooh, NG Dave going for the Sealed Cave play. Ooh, I love it.
Yeah, so Sealed Cave makes a lot of sense. It's really the only thing that's left. Well, one of the only things that's left for Dave to do. The other is to turn in that pan that he got from, imagine that came with the tower key.
Yeah, from Super Cannon.
Yeah, but Sealed Cave without knowing what the pan is kind of the only option left here besides that Fame Arch. And
the good thing about this spot, this check, is that you can check the key item and you check the character, I mean the boss, and if you don't care about neither of those, you fix that and you're good.
Yeah. So this is about the time where if I'm running this, I'm thinking about finishing up my party. I've only got the 4 party members, and grinding, because it's looking more and more like that Antlion not only just being an objective, but it may actually also be our bottleneck through the rest of this seed, which means we got to get through it sooner than later. Now, we don't know yet. We've got Luca to do, and we've got that pan to turn in, but it's definitely on mind. It's going to be on the mind of these runners. Baron key out of Luca, though.
The Panger is like 2 key item checks, and the Baron key is also 2 key item checks if you're willing to face the Baron Baseman. And also 3 bosses, which is very nice.
Yeah, Baron key, very happy to see that, because it is just a number of bosses, and we're on a boss hunt here.
1, 2!
2 waves!
Oh, how badly did you want that Baron key?
Very badly, unfortunately.
Yeah, that's 3 bosses and 2 key items. You do really want that.
This is where you're grateful to have a Rosa, because you're going to need that
Absolutely.
healing power.
Berserk's very nice too.
Thankfully, the
He's
spot does
so
not punch.
fast.
Yeah, thankfully the spot doesn't punch very hard, but it is incredibly fast. Dave is going to really have to spend a vast majority of his time just on healing if he wants to get through this while he has his Zerker going.
But with a good stack of healing items and Rosa's healing prowess, I think that there's a good chance that he'll get through this by just keeping on with the damage and just dishing out while healing the damage he received.
Yeah, this is where Berserk is incredibly overpowered because Berserk lets you have... Oh, Rosa going down is not good. You're going to need to pick her up and then throw a cure on her basically immediately, so you don't just accidentally wipe. And then the problem here is that Rosa's now going to have to throw a cure onto Kane, or risk him dying. And then when you lose the Berserker, you sort of lose the tempo of the fight, because what the Zerker's letting you do is every time the Zerker is attacking, the ATB isn't ticking while the animation is happening, and the Zerker gets to act not just immediately, but it sort of cheats the ATB system. I call it cheating. It's not exactly cheating, but they get to act more often than they really should. So you really don't want to lose that Zerker.
Picking up that Kane early on has been a really good choice, huh? Because so far so good. He's been doing great job. And after that hiccup, it seems that he's being able to pick himself back up and keep up with the healing and stuff. Edward as a chemist has been also invaluable, throwing out the potions to keep up with the damage. So great. Like NGD has been on top of his game. Fantastic job.
Yeah, again, this fight basically keep your Zerker alive and keep your healer alive, and you will get through it. And Dave able to show that he's got the skills to get through this fight.
Judge very cleverly immediately swapping Rosa to bow and arrow and popping a Bacchus right on top of herself. It's just absolutely fantastic. It's like, what? Edward's down? No worries. I've got a backup. There you go, 1000 pop. How much HP does the Sealed Cave have? Oh boy, that's
about 20,000, I want to say.
Ooh.
We're dealing about 1,500 to 2,000 a swing. So yeah, again, there's that problem of the Zerker going down. So now we've sort of lost the tempo of the Zerk going off. That means that Ogopogo is punching so much faster now. This is actually very dangerous.
But we're probably like really close to finishing. There it is.
Very close, and we got through it. Very well done.
Excellent work by Angie Dave right there. Well, I guess we're keeping that Baron key. Those are 3 bosses and 2 key items, plus more 2 key items from getting the Pam back to Sheila. Very nice.
Plus, we're on distinct 9 here. I don't think we've seen 9 distinct different characters, so that is also a chance that either an Edge or a Fusoya, who I imagine are the 2 characters these runners would love to see right now, and is the reason they're only running 4 at the moment, 4 party members, because it is permajoin.
Usually, there is like a... Like Edge, sometimes you don't want Edge because you just don't have the equipment for Edge, and he's very equipment dependent. But we have seen so many good ninja swords at many shops, so if you find Edge, there's a good chance that you can just equip him.
Speaking of a ninja sword, Dave just looting one as you're speaking of it.
Nice.
Yeah, actually the other thing that makes Edge nice on C Hero in particular is when you have a fast anchored hero like Edward, you want party members like Kane and Edge just because they're fast, and you want faster party members because they're going to get to act more often. And even if you didn't have good gear for Edge is still can throw out potions and can still dart. and can
Mhm.
still steal sirens if you needed that, though we know where sirens are, so that's not really going to be a concern. But
Oh, talking about sirens, like student sirens, and that wipe at King Queen. Once I was at like 1 HP and I went to steal sirens and I downed my entire party. So Edge can keep acting really fast, and Edge at 1 HP failed to steal a siren and got damaged for like 7 points of damage, and he immediately
yeah,
perished.
that's
I was like, oh, that happens, huh? I forgot about that.
yeah, that's a rite of passage right there. It's so easy to
It
do
really is.
because you you set up Sheila 1 or you turned in the pan, so or you went through the Fame Arch, so the damage tails put you at 1 hit points. It's it's more likely to
Honestly,
happen than you think.
I was so like bummed out, but then I laughed like, okay, fine, I guess that happens.
It's good to be able to laugh those moments off because they can definitely sting really hard when they happen.
And like a learning experience. I'm not like a supercomputer that can memorize every single tidbit about this game. Like God knows, there's so much in this game. So another lesson learned. That's
Yeah,
a
exactly.
That's a Dragoon Gauntlet from the Jang Pan check. Not great. We want more.
All right,
Oh,
so we're finally going to see who this Bygone spot is. We've got
oh, is this?
that's got to be the Gauntlet, right?
Oh, that
Well,
means.
okay, it was 5. If it's the Gauntlet, there should be this starts with the guards.
Oh, that's
It's not
true.
all. It's standard Gauntlet, right? Not all Gauntlet.
It's Mylon.
Oh my! I was trying to think of who the different. Yeah, okay, so it's Mylon. Mylon.
Ooh, dang it! I was so excited though.
It was the party formation
Oh.
from Mylon. So it's Mylon and the 4 zombies.
The party formation. Nice. That's excellent. Zeus Gauntlet for Sheila 2. Oh wait, no, that was Sheila 1. Right, that's Darkness. Ooh.
Mylon, even invisible, still wants you to know about his body.
Oh. Let's leave it at that. But what did you do with the Darkness Crystal? Do you have... Oh gosh. Do you have 6 spots on the moon, right? Oh, well... That... Who's there, Baron?
Darkness from the Pan is pretty spicy here.
Is
We're gonna
that...
see who the Baron
that's
King
a
spot
punch?
is.
Uh-huh.
It's a punch without. Okay, we're
There it
gathering the
is.
water. All right, that's
Wow,
all right, game.
vanilla!
A little bit of vanilla for you.
I'm tipping my Princess of Vanilla tiara right now. Tip, tip, tip. Jojo immediately deciding to go up onto the moon. I know where the Unbion is. I just need another boss. So if I face check the moon and I find another boss, I have all the knowledge I require to beat the sea. So I really like this play.
I think at the very minimum, this is a character chuck. Joe
Yeah, at
really
the
would
very
love to see a 5th party member that he wants. It could be face chucks. Baron Castle only having Cecil. Still don't know who our distinct 9 are this seed.
Yep.
It's also
like
a shock chuck if Joe wants it.
That's true, but at this point, maybe he doesn't need it. Guess we'll see.
No, unless he hasn't seen where sirens are.
Oh, that's true.
I know we saw sirens on at least one side. I'm not sure which of the two.
I think NG Dave checked for sirens. Yeah.
So we're getting the character check in the Lunar Dios. And it's Porum.
Oh, that's not what you want to see.
No.
We already have a white mage.
It's not ideal. We'll see if Joe just says, all right, I just want a 5th party member.
We still have a really...
And he does. And he does. He says, I'll take the white mage. It's safety. It's another Zerg caster. It's another healer.
You know what? Yeah.
It's also Joe saying, I'm unlikely to get a fifth party member anytime soon after this, and I really want to grind because all that's left facing me is Luca Key, which could be dangerous, Fame Arch, which we know is Antlion, dangerous, and the Moon, dangerous.
Andy Dave, meanwhile, getting the Adamant Rock from the Baron check, so that's a super weapon for Edward.
That could be
It's
really
really
huge.
nice.
There are pretty much all the Super Forge weapons are actually pretty good for Edward, if I remember right.
Fire 2, Lightning 2, Ice 3, no 2. I don't know why I said 3. We know who this is. It's Dark Elf in chat.
Yep.
I don't think we. Does Kane have a white spear? Is that a white spear? Or is that a blizzard spear? I always confuse the two.
It kind of looks like a Gungnir to me, but I don't really. I don't exactly remember the color. It's definitely not a white spear.
Wasn't Gungnir like red? Oh god, every single time, every single time. Charge! I think we found it. Good
Alright,
play.
here's the gauntlet, and oh no.
Jojo's play paid out. While Angie Dave checked out the sealed cave and Baron, Jojo immediately cashed out on the pan for those 2 key items. And, well, 3 in his case. And immediately went up to the moon. Like he chased the freebies and face checked the moon, and he is in basically go mode, basically.
Oh yeah, this is go mode, isn't it? Because this is the football gauntlet, and we know where Outline is. Yeah, so we just got to deal with these 2 encounters and then grind. Makes it even more.
It's gonna be so much XP though, isn't it? Oh wait, no. The Vanilla Gauntlet has Vanilla Gauntlet has the experience on the spot. It will be a lot of experience still though.
Also interesting, this was a kind of an open question for me because we don't often have the Vanilla Gauntlet on anymore since we do have the Alt Gauntlet. I wasn't sure if it would still have this. There's sort of a delay between starting the fight and getting into the fight, and there's that delay kind of tells you if it's a multi-encounter fight or not. And I wasn't sure if it would kind of be the same with the kind of the traditional gauntlet, and it appears that it is.
Yeah, that Asuka, our restreamer, is saying that there was like a very slightly smaller pause, but it was still there. So it being regular gauntlet instead of alt gauntlet, it's very nice because most of the fights, like most of the enemies only do, it just like slaps you around a little bit. If it has magic, it's not too much of a big deal. This situation is exactly why I didn't turn out like alt gauntlet, in case it showed up on the moon.
So Dave definitely is wearing a Dragoon Spear because the Dark Elf Dragon form is weak to the Dragoon Spear, and Kane swung for like 6,000 damage. Also, Dave got rewarded with a hook, which will let him turn in the Rat Tail.
And
it's
get
also
a character.
And get a character if he wants it. And it's also critically 10 key items, which will make his grind a lot faster than Joe's.
Oh, indeed. If he
Joe, who is
grinding now, he's gonna get there real fast.
Yeah, and Joe's actually at risk of not getting to 10 key items.
I believe that Angie Dave was the one that checked out, Troya and saw the sirens at the store. So if there is a very good chance that he might go to the Tower of Wishes, grab a 5th character, and just go for it. Or maybe he'll go up to the moon first and check who's there, because he's doing the Sheila check.
Yeah, and again, this is the traditional gauntlet that Joe is fighting. There's some quirks about the traditional gauntlet and the randomizer. The hit points of all of the formations are split. I don't know if it's exactly equally, but it's split amongst all 6, I believe, encounters. So they don't end up having, each individual enemy doesn't actually end up having a whole lot of health. They still punch kind of hard, but Cecil is able to cover and protect from a lot of this. It's also, a number of these fights have they're like the Kaipo soldiers, where you've got the commander or whatever, so when you kill the underlings, the main guy just kind of runs away.
Yep.
It ends up
Which
being
is,
a pretty easy fight, all told.
Yep. Yeah, the regular gauntlet, no matter where it shows up, it's usually a very tame fight. The most issues you might have with the regular gauntlet is at very high HP spots like elements or whatever, because it's like split and stuff. It's rough. It's just a slog.
Dave turning, cashing in that rat tail, getting a pass for his troubles. That's also huge. That saves a good, what, 3-4 minutes having to run down the lunar subterranean.
Thing is, we still need a bomb, but NG Dave has already checked both of the spots. I don't think there's anything else that NG Dave can't check. I think it's only the moon left, isn't it?
Well, I'm not sure if Dave has gone to see who the Feymarch bosses are, but if he has, he'll know that Outlion's down there, and if he hasn't, then he's sort of choosing to fade that. The way for Dave to get through the seed would be sort of the same as Joe is doing here, which is to get down to the Feymarch, see that Outline is down there, and also get to the moon and find the Alt Gauntlet.
Telegram Tracker mentioning that Sot 1 is technically available. That's true. It could be Bomb up there. We never thought about that, did we?
It's technically possible. There is also, there's also technically the Giant. The Giant could have.
Oh god.
Bomb as well, which would be actually awful. That would would just be the worst, but that's also a possibility.
Indeed.
I think we're pretty unlikely to see this Outland check, though. We're also unlikely to see.
That was Wyvern! That was Wyvern! That was Wyvern doing retreat! Oh wait, no. Okay, sorry. I thought Judge Joe went to another. Okay, sorry. False alarm. I forgot that the Bubble Gauntlet closes with another guards fight. My apologies.
Wyvern retreating is absolutely a favorite, though, being one of the things that it could do in Witchburn. Joe, done with the fight, says, I've got these sirens I bought earlier, so I guess he did find them in a shop, and says, I'm just going to take these immediately. Also explains why he took that Porum, because, again, it was like, alright, this is a 5th character. I will take basically anybody at this point.
Yeah, okay. I see you, come with me, whatever. Yeah, NG Dave remembering that this fight exists. Or maybe, you know what, it's happened to me before that, like, I keep that these places exist in the back of my mind. I'm just like, I'm not gonna bother early game, because they take so much longer, because the spot is actually a little tough, in case I have to do it. So I just don't spend the time, and I just come here whenever I have the strong, like, the power to blow it away.
Yeah, we saw Joe do these checks within the first, 20 minutes or so.
And it was tough.
Yeah, well, the Water Hag was briefly threatening, I think, until he realized it was Water Hag, and he could just punch it 3 times, but, yeah, so Water Hag being an objective, good thing that Dave found it.
Yeah, if that had been outlying or something, though, that would have been tough.
So now Dave has a choice. Does he want to go underground and see who that Feymarch is, or does he want to go to the moon? And Dave saying, actually, first, it's time to forge.
Oh, which forge are we gonna get? Lucky's Loot, please? Again, if it's the Requiem's Heart, it will be really good for agility stuff as well. Yeah. But I hope it's Lucky's Loot, because Apollo Harp is still really decent, but it's not his best weapon.
Yeah, Loki's is it's a lot of fun to play with, and
yeah.
Okay, it's Loki's great. That nice shot, by the way, nice is shot. S Wild in a nutshell.
That's so funny.
That shop was, like Darkness Sword, Iron Armor.
Oh, yeah.
It was all tier 1 garbage.
You know what? Sometimes you want some iron gear to equip your characters for, like, the Magnus check, but, the fact that it's in Coco, it's pretty good. I think that I with with Papita and Chad, I think that is the worst Coco shop I have ever seen, ever.
That's genuinely one of the worst. I think I've seen, the only worst I've seen from Coco on S Wild is when he rolls like just no items in there. Like I swear I've seen him have like a summon and something else, and that was like kind of it.
Fair.
But yeah, that was pretty awful.
Oh my gosh, NG Dave is going to the premium inn down at the Famart, the most expensive in the entire game. Nice.
Yeah, it's smart though. I mean, you want to fully heal and you don't have a cabin. This is the way to do it. Dave preparing to take on the two bosses down here. Believe doesn't know who they are. Not sure.
No.
You know who he's gonna have to contend with, but at least has that Loki's harp. Well, just not actually gonna help super much against the.
Yeah, that's the thing that Antlion will counter every fight command with just like a rather strong magic counter because it's the Azura spot. But that, look at that damage, 168. Oh, beautiful! I believe it has like stat ups, and it does extra damage against every single monster type except slime. I think it's really good.
Yeah. By the way, it's smart by Joe remembering that there were Dragoon Spears were for sale over in what is that underground shop? The name of it always escapes me for some reason. Tomra, thank you. Purchases a Dragoon Spear out of Tomra and wants to get the rest of his grind on here.
That's so good. Like under S Wild, especially keeping a track of of what's in each shop, it's absolutely fantastic. And well, there's NG Day finding out with relief that the boss of Leviathan is Kingpin.
Yeah, so again, to remind chat, Judge Joe is actually in go mode, is doing his grind now. We know Antlion is at the Ashura spot, and this is 5 out of 6 objectives required, so Joe is just doing what he needs to do to go fight that Antlion and finish the seed up. Now the difference here between our two runners is that Dave has
10
key items and a pass.
Oh yeah.
And is gonna see this Antlion now. So it's gonna come down to how fast he can get through Antlion. He has to get through it now, in my opinion, to have a chance. And then he has to get to the moon and go, I believe it was top down?
Yes, Murasame spot has the old gauntlet.
Yeah, so Dave's gonna have to do those two things. If he does, I think he's in very good, at a very good place, a very good contention to get through. But Joe is done with his grind and knows where this Antlion is, so...
Look at that damage from Edward, that was so nice.
Yeah, Joe really in the driver's seat here.
Smacked Kane for 1200 damage.
Yeah, this is this is where you're glad to have Dark Knight Cecil.
Yeah, like listen, with the adamant armor, group flag set, we had a lot of fun having Cecil with a big stick swinging around. But Cecil's true power comes with the fact that most than half of the bosses in this game just like punch you, and he has the cover ability. And in the back row with the good armor, it makes the fight free, basically. It's so good. It's so good. Cecil is the second best character in the game behind Fusoya. He's so good.
Yeah, Loki's harp doing tons of work for Dave.
Beautiful.
The sort of trouble with it, of course, is that are these counters that could come out.
Yeah, the thing is that Loki's loot deals extra racial damage against like everything, and like Antlion isn't like a member of any racial type, like in game in the code, so it's not dealing that extra damage. But I've seen Loki's loot to like 4,000 and 6,000 damage, no problem. It's so cool.
Yeah, I don't know the exact stats on it, but I think it boosts agility at the very least. I want to say it has good attack power on it as well. It's just it's a really good weapon. Yeah.
Let me check real quick. Harps.
So both our runners have converged on Antlion, which is pretty fun to see after sort of all the converge happened earlier.
Loki's loot has plus 15 strength,
Yeah, that makes
agility,
sense.
and stamina, I guess. Like,
What's the attack power on it?
150.
Okay, so it's basically
so good.
it's basically
An Excalibur, yeah.
halfway between an Excalibur and a Crystal Sword. Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty good.
So good.
It makes sense because
Vampire.
these Superforge weapons are from the GBA game that had all these lunar trials, and if you got through them successfully, you got these basically Crystal Sword equivalent weapons for all your party members.
Yeah. Yeah, and you know, I had like extra bosses and a super boss at the end and stuff. So it's good. It makes Edward really powerful for the most part. I really like see Judge Joe is doing cover strats right away. Oh, Earth Crystal. Ooh,
Oh, Dave getting.
Dave. Oh boy.
Yeah. Oh, we really didn't want to see that for Dave. If you're rooting for Dave,
But what if it's
could be
Fusoya and Mom Bomb?
Mom
We don't know
Bomb.
where
Could
Mom Bomb
be.
is.
We don't. But this is still, we know where the Alt Gauntlet is. The Alt Gauntlet is at the Murasame altar. We don't know. We don't know what's at Sot, but Dave doesn't know any of this. Dave just knows that he's got an Earth Crystal in hand, would love a 5th party member, and has 2 shots of characters. I think he's going straight there.
Honestly, I think I will do that too. Like, if I know this is Distinct 9, and there are characters I haven't seen yet. And they could be Fusoya or Edge with good equipment for Edge.
Yeah.
And
Picking up Bacchus first, that's a smart pickup, remembering that they are available in Agert. But I think Dave is going to run straight over to Troya next.
If Mom Bomb is in Sot, Edge has to pass.
Okay, we're going to do the character check at the hook route first. Okay, so this is interesting.
That's fair.
The character check here might influence Dave's decision. If he gets the Edge or the Fusoya, he might say, that's enough for me to forget about doing Zot.
And that's objective number 1, defeat the Lion for Yacho, the Crystal, and the Earth Crystal. Avenger, hello!
Gotta love S Wild, just buying an Avenger. Thank you very much.
Ka-ching! There's Kane's best weapon right there. Wonderful. Oh, right, and Settledown's exit. You know, I tend to forget that, actually. But he does. He was just here to shop? Well, he found what he was looking for.
He did. Avenger was a great pickup. Yep.
Yeah, either a Crystal Sword or an Avenger, and he found it. Or I guess Excalibur, too.
Yep, now we're headed straight to Troya. Probably not going to check the treasury at this point. It's a little late, though treasury is a chance at a Crystal Sword. It's 1% per box on T Pro, which add that all up, it's basically I believe it's a 16.5% chance, and he is going to do the treasury. So
and we do not have we do have tier max 6 max tier 6 though.
Oh, it's max tier 6? Okay.
Yep.
Well, we're still going to play a game chat, rate that treasury.
Karate's nice, Dragoon's also nice, Heroine, Dwarf, oh right, but we don't have anyone to anchor. I guess we can back row glitch Kane if we wanted to.
Yeah, can back row Kane with Dwarf Axe, it's pretty handy. It's still, it's a bit late in the seed for this to be really full value, but still getting some decent items out of here.
Bacchus and Coughing are both really nice, and so is a glass hat.
I love this from chat. Inventory boss, the only one in this flag set that you can see clearly. I'm gonna add with your eyes, like everything else.
You know, it's really cool when you, in this case, you don't see it in Judge's screen because Kane's like slaying these eggs. But if you make an edge hat, it just like a crack appears in the fabric of reality. It's really good. But Angie Dave, as we were like guessing, he has chosen to go up Sod. We'll see if Mom Bomb is up there. Like if Mom Bomb is here, that's a game changer. Because Angie Dave, with all the key items and the pass in hand, and besides the Fabul Gauntlet at the moon, is a really slow fight. So, hmm, if you're NG Dave, you're hoping that Mom Bomb is here. I mean, or the Fabu Gauntlet, but we know here in the booth that Fabu Gauntlet is at the moon. And yes, we'll see. Oh boy. Oh, oh right, moving the back goes. Yeah, good move. It's only one. Oh, it's only one. Who is this? It's not dead yet. This spot? This has to be Mom Bomb. Mom Bomb has 10k HP on top of it. This is Mom Bomb, isn't it? No, it isn't it. Or is it? No. Ooh. It had so much HP, chat. It had so much HP.
Porum for the first character. Not exactly what Dave wanted to say. I don't think he went to the moon yet, so this is his first sight at a Porum in the seed.
I don't know who was that, chat. I don't know.
Did the objective?
No, it didn't pop up.
Okay, so it wasn't Mom Bomb. Oh, so the twins are up on our heels. Or sorry, the twins are up on Zot. Not really the characters Dave wanted to see.
It could have been Demons, maybe, but yeah. Just show checking this spot for the loot. No, neither of those. And you, Dave, might as well beat the game with only 4 characters at this point. Which is very possible. You know, we had a whole tournament about that.
Joe checking the treasury says to me might not have noticed in the flag string that it's max tier 6, because if it wasn't that, again, it's about a 16.5% chance at a Crystal Sword or an Excalibur, but
you know,
with max tier 6, kind of not really a lot that could really benefit his party at this point, given that he's in Go mode. Though,
yeah,
Ice Brand is not really it. I believe he might still be stuck with.
Is this Mom Bomb? It has so much HP again. What's going on? Nothing's happening. Oh. Oh, right, the crumble.
The crumble of the boss. Interesting.
No, it wasn't Mom Bomb. It's just like the thing about this flag. This flag is like when you get into late game and you're doing 2k damage a pop or more, it's like, okay, but who was that? But who was that? It went away so fast. Who was that? Yeah, Demis was one of them, maybe. Who knows?
Dave getting a Siren for his trouble, not really what he wanted to see.
No, absolutely not. What a shame.
Yeah, a Siren and 2 characters he really didn't want.
It's just still gonna grind on behemoths?
Yeah, we're seeing the kind of problem of not having 10 key items is that Joe really having to go out of his way here to get to the levels that he wants. I imagine he's a little concerned because it is C-Hero and Edward's the anchor out trying to get Edward or his party at a spot that's super healthy. Though that Rosa has 2,300 hit points at this point.
Jesus.
Well, I'm not actually quite sure what Joe's plan is here. We'll have to ask him when he gets in the booth.
Indeed. Do you think he was hoping for an Avenger drop?
No, that's so unlikely. It's like a 5% for anything to drop, and then I don't know where on the drop list Avenger is, but I don't think it's the common drop, so...
No, I think it might be the second, like the second to last, like rarity drop, and the rarest, like Gauntlet, I think, or something like that. It's been a while, but yeah, it's not very likely.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, again, Shadow, I'm not quite sure what Joe's plan is here. Still taking on behemoths, has that crystal in hand. All All he really needs to do is run down to Zeromus and finish the
Um,
fight here.
Tallgrant, our tracker, mentioning that maybe he might have misread that this is like 6 out of 6, perhaps, instead of 5 out of 6. Or
Sure,
maybe
but
he's
even
like, I don't know. Guess we'll see.
yeah,
Oh,
so he's
agility
tricking
stuff.
Edward's agility.
Ma-
Yeah, I
guess
think this is just a lot of concern about Edward. I mean, respect Sea Hero. You know, respect the fact that Edward
absolutely.
is incredibly fast. Doesn't want to have any troubles with this fight at all.
Absolutely. Yeah, totally. That makes a lot of sense, honestly.
Yeah, though I will say, you get to a point where your white mages are so healthy that they're unlikely to die even to an unnerved Big Bang.
yeah, because the thing with mages is that even as their levels go up, it's not only their HP that goes up, but their magic stats also go up, and as their magic stats go up, they get more magic evade multipliers, which allows them to evade more Big Bang rolls. So
Yeah.
they get more like soft HP, I guess, if you want to call it that. They're even more likely to survive.
Right, it's never a guarantee, but poor him, quite
No.
notorious at incredibly high levels of just like taking very, very low
yeah,
amounts of magic damage. Though you
it's
really
pretty
can't
wild.
ever rely on Porum in the Zeromus fight. Can't exactly
Yeah.
rely on her not dying.
Forums. Yeah, under this flag set, I believe we will not see Ceramus's first form. It will be invisible, but the second form, the one with the cool Snazzy sprite, will be shown.
And also, chat, we are aware of there are some sort of stream issues on Joe's side, and thank you so much to Oscar, our restreamer, for kind of keeping on top of that and keeping things operating well here, so we can, see Joe finish out this seed.
Yep.
And while I'm shouting out the restreamer, follow her, and also follow our tracker, Tallgrant, really great people, and Alchemy. Everyone on the restream team, we can't have a broadcast without really any of us, but especially the people behind the scenes. So a big thank you there.
And also follow Sorelas. Hello, Sorelas is great. I mean, who else will get in a booth to talk about invisible nonsense with me if they weren't great, huh?
It's been a lot of fun. I've really enjoyed watching this flag set. It actually kind of makes me want to play more with Enemy Unknown. This is
Enemy Unknown
strategically
rocks,
pretty interesting, yeah. And Dave gonna get that all gauntlet.
Ooh, there it is.
That's gonna be Dave's go mode as well.
Oh yeah, but NG Dave's levels are nothing compared to Jetjo's at this point. That's the thing. So even if he defeats this boss and gets go mode and exits out and uses the pass, that Ceremon's fight is gonna go way slower.
Yeah, Dave will need to solve his grind on top of this encounter. Now, this encounter, I guess the experience is split here. It's not exactly going to be what he wants, but
it will be a decent drop of experience. But yeah,
this isn't the time we'd normally be talking about Z flags, but I don't really kind of see any, and there's a few.
Oh, there's some. They are telling me to go to bed because it is 10:30 p.m. But no.
Okay, good night.
Bye.
No, but go ahead.
No. So we don't swap Ceremus for any other boss. You may have noticed there was an invisible Ceremus throwing big bangs at our racers. He always is in this spot because his script is too tough. He has the most powerful spells. So since this is a randomizer, we do change something about the final boss, which is what he looks like. And again, you may not see it right now, but you will see it later. But whose spot are we gonna kick today? Is it cute? Susan was explaining that. Is it wearing a hat? Listen, folks, if you keep doing this to us, we're gonna have to grab a hacking, massive text document saying all the questions. Hello, this is the commentary booth restream Ceremus questions list.
Which is actually a sprite. That itself has become a sprite. Scala has truly created
The meta.
Everything, it feels like. There's
I
so
think
many sprites in
I
this
think
pool
it's
now.
like 573 or whatever. It's a
At
lot.
least, yeah. And
Yeah.
the numbers, much like the monsters, the numbers, why do they keep increasing?
Yeah. That's one of my favorite sentences from the game. It's so good.
Shout out to the opening sequence we never see in the randomizer
Shout
of this
out,
game.
shout out. And oh wow, look at that. That's sick. I love it. What's this? Genesis. Is this Genesis from Crisis Core?
I love this sprite. I don't recognize it. If it's Crisis
Yeah.
Core, Stella is immediately going to let us
it's-
know, and yes, she is. In all caps.
It's Genesis Avatar, isn't it? Yes! Shala and I, the Crisis Core lovers.
Yeah, shout out to Scala being definitely known Crisis Core lover. By the way, nobody has finished this race, so Joe is fighting for first place here.
Indeed. Oh well, Joe is doing 3k a pop with Kane, 2k a pop with Cecil, and even slinging whites. Very, very nice. Hybrid threat.
I think part of Joe's plan was knowing that Ice Brand, Cecil, and Dragoon Spear Kane are not exactly what he wants to be doing on Sea Hero at Zeromus, and so really supplementing that damage, one with levels, and two with white from both of the white mages, on top of the safety, I think really helps explain, taking all that time to grind.
Yeah.
And
I don't think this fight is gonna be any problems for Judge Joe. He's with these levels, he's absolutely got it under control. Maybe Edward will fall to the Big Bang because he's squishy. Oh, Edward's HP is lead. Nice.
Also, I feel like Lead Speak has just aged all of us. Knowing the existence of it.
I'm getting the feeling that Angie Davis is gonna have 4 characters this is. Like, I believe that the Animant Cup was kind of an awakening for a lot of players and the community. Like, hey, you only need like 3 characters to beat a seed, actually, if they're like decent. So maybe he just won't pick up a 5th.
Yeah, I imagine he might not at this point. That's why I thought it was so smart of Joe to just take the Porum, knowing that he was fastly approaching the end of the seed, and at that point, really any 5th party member is functional. Even a Sid, at least is like a tier 3 slinger.
Aside from tier 3s, you also found crystal rings, headbands, which increase his agility, and also an Artemis bow from the start of the game. Sid can deal a lot of damage and be decent at this fight, for sure. Yeah. I've seen it happen.
That's a very good point.
But we only got mages, aside from this like core party of fighters and Rosa. And yeah, Loki's loot is just like ripping Ceremus apart. It's so good.
Yeah, Loki's loot. We'll see on Dave's side when he fights Ceremus how he wants to approach this fight compared to Joe having much, much, much better gear than Joe has.
The thing about the Sea Hero flag is that Edward is the anchor, forever. So there is no I'm gonna cheeky grab a level 1 character or whatever.
Dave not even popping into Miss City. I'm not gonna take the any of the characters out of there. We'll see where he wants to go now. Might check this Hook character. That might be picking up the hovercraft.
I like the nerfing of the Big Bang.
Oh yeah, this is an adamant armor. It's just a free adamant armor.
What if you give the adamant armor to Edward and you have like a 60 agility Edward?
Oh my god.
You like
Nobody gets to do anything but Edward.
and Edward becomes the Doom guy and it's like rip and tear until it is done and you like Loki's loot, adamant armor, like Edward. Like, hell yeah.
Now, serious talk, that can work very well if you have a Silk Web or 2 Slowcasters, because
Absolutely.
due to just agility black magic, the faster your character is at Zeromus, or really anywhere, but we're talking about Zeromus here, the faster your character is at Zeromus, the sort of more susceptible to a Silk Web that Zeromus is,
Hold
basically.
up. Did he? He did put the adamant armor on Edward. Oh, hold on. I was joking.
Alright, Rox and Joe's side.
Here we go.
And there's the crumble. GG's to Judge Joe. Very well done. He is our first place finisher with
Wonderful.
an official time of 1 hour, 43 minutes, and 4 seconds. Big GG's to Joe.
I believe we are joined by Judge Joe. Hello there. Your mic might be muted.
Hello.
There you are.
Hello.
That
So, how about that seed?
it existed. I don't know how to feel about it.
I'm sure you'll be able to sort out your feelings later on. Do some some meditation. What kind of garbage did Alchemy roll for me? How do I feel about it? Some nice like self-reflection.
So that was my first experience with the Wacky Flag enemy unknown.
It's fun as heck. I love it, honestly.
Yeah, how did you feel about it?
It's different. Not being able to see the enemies. When you saw my first fight, walked into the waterfall and just sit there as I get whacked 7 times in a row.
Yeah.
Going,
Yep.
what's going on?
I thought it was evil wall, but chat was like, no, there's no audio cue of the wall like moving forward. And I was like, what the
Yep.
heck is this? And then you like hit it. I was like, oh, there's Dana.
I'm like, Edward. I'm like, oh, I guess I keep holding A. Okay.
It's like a few moments where like both you and NT Dave were like pause the game straight up like what's this? It's great.
It took me so long to figure out. I'm like, Remedy?
Who the heck is Remedy? Who's this?
Yeah, and when I hit the Leviathan the first spot, I wasn't anchored, or the Antlion the first time I wasn't anchored, but it just sort of punched, and I went, it's a single target punchy, let's try this again. Because I felt like at that point it was a high likelihood of either Mom Bomb or Antlion.
Yeah, I get you.
And Mom Bomb, I would have had the Moon Veil was my plan, and then keep someone when it's, I don't know, hold A until it queues up the explosion, resurrect someone, and then throw a hourglass.
Yes.
It was interesting, and I was completely not expecting to find the gauntlet when I found them. I was just like, oh, I guess I'm in go mode.
Yeah, like whoops, I guess. Like that's
And
the other thing about this Flaxid is like the boss hunt aspect of it.
Well, and tell us about, what was going on in your mind once you knew that you were effectively in go mode. What was your plan from there, and walk us through kind of what your grind options were and how you executed that.
So once I knew I was in go mode, I had 9 key items. I knew the moment I beat Antlion, I got my 10th. But my party was kind of not great. Bad equipment, no levels. So I didn't have the money for a good weapon. So I did this one set of gold dragons, which turns out bad equipment, no levels. Gold dragons are an experience.
Oh yeah, we saw you turn back after that first set of Gold Dragons. I think shot like by Dragoon Spear, right?
Yep.
That was such a like good play from you.
And
Good
then
memory.
Yeah.
I was looking for weapons. I meant to see if I could sell enough for a defense sword when I went and fought Antlion,
okay.
but I just exited. So I then went to see if there was randomly like a defense sword, light sword in the treasury. There wasn't. But after that point, I had finished eggs because easiest way of getting my levels, and I wanted the double white to help out with my Z damage because I knew my Zerkers were kind of not great.
Yeah, that makes sense. But even if your equipment wasn't great, you absolutely had the levels to compensate for that.
Yeah, I made sure to finish up my levels. A pair of whites helping out will encourage a Z fight, and the benefit was it meant that Cursed Edward with an Artemis bow was 28 agility.
Yeah, Artemis bow. Yeah.
Yeah, ended up making that fight super safe for you, and very well done for that first place finish.
Indeed.
Yeah.
One other question I want to ask you about. This is the last one on my mind. When you're headed to the moon. You don't know if you're going to be in go mode, anytime soon. You see Porum for the Lunadias, and you end up taking her. Now walk us through that decision.
So the other characters, there was Yang, there was Rydia, and I didn't see like an early enough Bahamut to just like MP glitch Rydia for early game stuff, and just I didn't feel enthusiastic about any of the characters I found. And at this point, I still had most bosses of it. I was getting close and likely to find go mode before finding another character. So I figured a double white mage could help me through a tough fight with Blink if it was on the moon.
It makes a lot of sense.
And it's just a tiny bit easier to get white than it is to get nuke.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. Gotta pause and shout out really quickly. Edward, wearing a Loki's harp, dodging rocks in order to finish the fight on NG Dave's side. Cheese to NG Dave.
GG's, glad his Edward was able to do something.
Yeah. Torch is something.
Alright, well, that was about the last of my questions. So you got anything else for Joe, Anthony?
No, except that I will be chatting with you about the character for next week. Wink, wink. Don't say it out loud. Wink, wink.
Oh yeah, I did.
You did do it with Plague. Good thinking on your part. I saw that. So GG's Judge Show. Thanks a lot for racing and stuff. It was a joy having you here.
Yeah, it was lots of fun. Glad to be able to make these most of the time. Wish I could make the next one, but I'll be busy during that time.
That's fair. I understand. No worries. I'll still be here doing nonsense, so don't worry about it.
Alright, well, thanks. Yeah, it was a pleasure. Thanks again, Joe. We appreciate it.
Yeah. Thank you all for putting on a good show, and I'm sure the commentary will be fun to watch back.
Yeah, we had fun. Anyways,
Yeah,
Judge Show.
It's a good time.
Thanks a lot. Take care.
Will do. Have a good day.
Hello, NG Dave. GG's on your third place finisher. What an ending. What an explosive ending that was, huh?
So, I know I didn't do the meta objective because it just never really came up, but does Eddie Strats count as beating the tar out of Zormus with the power of rock?
I mean, maybe, I guess. I honestly, thanks for the idea. I'll write it down.
Oh no. Great,
That was
there's evidence of me being to blame.
like we saw you go for the adamant armor, and we were like, oh, I guess he'll put it on like Cecil or something. And I joked like, haha, what if you put it on Edward for like 60 agility anchoring? Ha 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 ha.
There was
And then
one correct
go, and then you go and do it, and we're like, oh dear, here we go. And then Edward getting hit for like 800 damage for the nuke and stuff like that. And I was like, oh my goodness. Just absolutely beautiful. Like I also love that you just ended up with 4 characters, because I feel like as a community we have awakened to the fact that we only need like 3 characters to be like free enterprise seed, honestly, if they're decent.
Well,
after the tournament.
Mm-hmm. My thinking on that was, what were the other characters I saw? Radia, Yang, Pal, and Porum. They really didn't add much to this party in my mind.
That's fair.
Like the 4 I had were perfectly fine. I think the only 2 characters who really have, in my mind at least, I could be wrong on this, but my thinking was the only characters that could really have been a huge benefit to this party would have been Edge or Fu.
Yeah, we saw you searching for that stuff. Like we were talking about it in the booth.
The Zod check was more because there's also 2 bosses. I was on a boss hunt.
That's fair. It's like maybe Yang will have been decent, like punching for like 2k damage or something, but even then.
Maybe. I also had gear for Edge.
Yeah, there were so many ninja swords.
There were so many. You even managed to pick one up, Dave, as we were talking about Edge maybe could show up, because there were so many ninja swords throughout the state. That was a funny moment.
But that was my thinking going with 4 characters. It was the other 4 characters didn't seem like they have added much to what I was doing.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. You open yourself up to the flexibility of being able to have a 5th party member, and as our last tournament, showed, you don't really need 5 party members to get through a seed.
Yeah, it felt in my mind like enough power to go, so just go.
Yeah. Now, I have a question of mine I want to ask. At the Twin Harp, we see you swing twice, go into your inventory, and then just pause for like 5 seconds. Tell us, what was on your mind in that moment.
Simply, how did I miss twice? What boss could have... Yeah. Oh crap, it's Golbez.
How do you miss twice?
It's like it's like Eddie sent himself an arty vote. He shouldn't be whiffing. What could have? Oh no! Because he saw me call jump right afterwards to try to avoid the hold gas.
Yeah. I thought that was very smart. You took a moment to think about what was happening and then react to it. Yeah.
Who is this? Oh no!
That's the beauty of Enemy Unknown. It's like you never know what you're gonna get until they either do. Like show up for like a half a second, or apparently they scream out of the top of their lungs, ha ha ha, or drop down to the deep ravine, or whatever, or like go Battleknap, and it's like, oh, you guys are terrible at hide and seek.
So I'm guessing the 2 bosses on Zot were Odin and Demist in some order.
We were speculating because they died so fast.
Well, they didn't react to me punching them.
Yeah.
They didn't use an opening spell. They just punched. And those are the only 2 bosses left in my tracker that I think fit both of those requirements.
You were going you were doing so much damage that I was like...
I had an angry bar with the Loki loot. Everything's dying fast.
Yeah. I was like, oh my goodness, you're doing so much damage. It has to be Mom Bomb because it has so much HP, but it did, but it wasn't.
No, I didn't do more than 9 or 6k at those 2 spots, so it couldn't have been Mom Bomb.
Yeah, but Loki's loot hit so hard that in my mind it like inflates the numbers so much. It looks so much than it actually is.
Also, Loki loot didn't do bonus damage, so it wasn't a boss with a creature type.
Yep. Indeed. Very smart.
So I think it was one of those. I think those were the 2 on Zot.
Yeah, maybe one of the other runners will be able to confirm it in the post-race spoiler chat. It would be interesting to know.
So, I don't know if either other runners completed the meta.
So we did see Joe on screen, got into the mirror room fight, realized it was Plague and reset, went back into it, and did a
Papa
reflect kill.
Starvel, yeah,
Yeah.
Papa Starvel and then hit with Edward and like did a reflect
Okay.
count kill on Plague. Or maybe that
Fair
was
enough.
Wyvern, we still don't know.
Yeah, the odds are so unlikely, but I suppose that there's a world that could have been Wyvern. I've seen Wyvern with count on Sea Hero in the mirror room before. I have seen that before.
Yeah, I think isn't there a video of Possum having found that
Breaking
and broken
it.
the game?
Yes. It's a great clip. I forget exactly what he did to break Wyvern with count at that spot, but he absolutely did that.
Goodness. So like we also saw you really do like a weak grind. Like you didn't grind that much. You just kind of got whatever HP you needed and just went ahead and did Ceremas. Like Edward barely had 1,000 HP, and I thought that was really interesting because Judge Joe, your opponent on Restream, did like do like a massive grind, and like Rosa had like 3,000 HP and stuff. And it was very interesting how you decided to do Ceremas at like lower levels.
I'm not a person to overgrind much. Like, I knew I had an item armor coming, so I figured Eddie didn't need that much HP. I found the
Fair.
pigtail before taking the gold dragons.
Hmm.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. You also had much better gear than Joe did. You know, if you go back and watch, you'll see Joe running around with basically
Yup, that's true.
an ice brand and an ogre axe for most of that seed. I actually might not
Yeah,
have even had that ogre axe. I think he sold it. Whereas you
that's what the
had
Eblin
kind of the
grind was about.
goods. Yeah, because you went to Eblin, got some really good stuff early game that really changed a lot of things for the two of you as you were going through that seed.
Well, I had a Cecil, I had a Kane. And not the best gear. Evelyn Traps seemed like a reasonable play.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Did you get anything good from the traps? We were too busy apparently losing our
Dragoon
minds
Lance.
about like enemy random. So that is where you got it. Excellent.
The other two were... Maybe there was a Zeus Golem in there that might have been from a trap.
Or like Sheila Wong, I think.
Well, I ended with two.
Sheila one was
Oh,
Zeus gauntlets. Yeah.
You ended with two. Nice.
Oh, that was it. I ended with two, so I got a second one from somewhere.
I see. Cool.
I know Bedward gave us the Ogre Axe, so we had one right away.
Yep.
So anyway, Dave, I know you like Judge Joe was the winner and he did the objective, but if you could choose, who would you like to see as like next character as hero? Which character would you like to see?
Oh, I can cheat a little bit because you gave me the list at one point.
Oh, I did. That's true.
Uh-oh.
I mean, it's also pinned.
I want to see personally.
It's also pinned.
Personally, I would go Dark Inventor because I want to see what that's about. That's
Dark Inventor. Yeah, that's one of the new ones.
That sounds like a Sid.
I guess we're just gonna do all of the new ones in the first 4 weeks. But you know what's fair?
you
I
gave
get
us
that.
you gave us shiny new flag sets with no explanation.
Yeah, it's
Fair.
very shiny.
Honestly,
I'm
fair.
intrigued.
That's
Dark
really-
Inventor? I want to know. I don't know anything about. Yeah. You consider me interested.
okay.
Yeah, you
guess-
can't give us
guess we'll
shiny.
see.
You can't give us shiny new things and expect us to not take them.
Well, that is fair. So thanks a lot, NG, for participating and messing
for having
around
us.
with us here.
Yeah,
And
we greatly
just-
appreciate it. Especially that finish. That was just chef's kiss.
Yeah, that was choice.
Thank you, Alchemy and Solaris, for talking about this, pushing the buttons, and leader of the Eddie fan club, who I'm certain enjoyed that ending. Oscar for restreaming us.
Yep, and
Well-
thank you for running.
See you later, NG Dave.
Have a good day.
And I believe we are going to go ahead and rate Esgran for an acing of Edge versus the Blue Planet, which is also the flag set for the next two community races. So
I believe it might be. I don't think we've announced exactly what the next flag set is, but if you're
well,
interested,
you heard it here first, folks. I guess maybe we don't know.
maybe we'll know that very soon. But it's an async, so if you were interested in running Edge versus the Blue Planet, that Esgran is running,
Yep,
might be your time
careful.
to dip out. Yep.
Yep.
Okay, so thank you, Scala. So Scala's confirming it. So that will be the community flag set for the next couple of weeks. Edge versus the Blue Planet. So yeah, definitely go give good vibes to S-Grunt. Dip out if you want to do that async. And otherwise, Alchemy, it's been a sheer pleasure.
Same. It was a lot of fun. Take care, everyone, and have a good day.
Bye.